Mr Benn, Series 3, Episode 2. Elmer again. The day was autumn in Festive Road. Number 52 is Mr Benn's house, but he wasn't at home. He was at the pet shop. And when he came out, he saw a man, who was Mr McKee, that had heard about the second and third series being made from a fan. "Why is it," he asked, "that a third series is made, but not for television? I think you may know that it's the model writer making it for website YouTube," said Mr Benn. "Funny you should mention that. I have this letter from him," said Mr McKee. "He wrote to me he made your series, the Australian version." And they had to laugh. Then Mr Benn had a thought after Mr McKee had gone. I wonder how Elmer's getting on. I'll find him when I visit the costume shop. So he went to the shop. Adventures could begin. As if by magic, the shopkeeper appeared. "Good morning, sir," he said. "What are you trying on today?" "I like to try on this other black suit," said Mr Benn, and he took it to the fitting room. Mr Benn changed into the other suit. Then he went through the door that led to what? Thinks Mr Benn. Mr Benn found himself in a schoolyard. But this was the finish. He recognized the country was Equestria. "Hey!" said a voice. "Where did you spring from?" It was Diamond Tiana. "Oh no, not one of the bullet figures." "That's Mr Benn," said Appleboom. "Twilight's castle's over there." "I'm not needed for anything here," said Mr Benn. "I don't think that school's for me." That way. They went to Twilight's castle. "Hello, Mr Benn," said Twilight. "I thought you would bump into us after we planned our stay." "Fancy meeting you here," said Elmer. "Hello, I thought we'd meet again. I was told you helped Twilight to hospital when she had a crash in one of the highest mountains. That was when I was a vet. It's a good thing you came here. I was to do up a show. You might be in charge of the curtain robe and narrate a performance. A performance? Yes. She wants to entertain the fillies in where you popped up from. I can host. All right, then. Let's see how it goes. When they all came to the school, they set up all the props when putting up the stage. Twilight was to check her list, and Elmer was to make up the performance. Oink! With the magic ball. Oh, that's not enough, said Silver Spoon. Oh, no, not her as well. Not enough? You'll soon find out, said Appleboom. Now, where's the narrator for this show? Ah, there you are. Howdy, all. Welcome to the school show. Today, we have a story about the patchwork elephant, based on the book of Mr. McKee, which is played with this magic ball, and it's narrated by Mr. Benn. And he's ready to pull the curtain. The ball's Twilight. She brought it from Albus Dumbledore. Mind where you're going? Ouch! Oh dear, that was Cherry Lee's flower vase. I can't see. It's all dark. Lights. Cue story performance. There was once a herd of elephants. Elephants young, elephants old, elephants tall or fat or thin. Elephants like this, that or the other, all different, but all happy and all the same color. All that is, except Elmer. Elmer was different. Elmer was patchwork. Elmer was yellow and orange and red and pink and purple and blue and green and black and white. Elmer was not elephant color. It was Elmer who kept the elephants happy. Sometimes he joked with the other elephants. Sometimes they joked with him. but if there was even a little smile, it was usually Elmer who started it. One night, Elmer couldn't sleep for thinking, and the think that he was thinking was that he was tired of being different. Who ever heard of a patchwork elephant, he thought. No wonder they laugh at me. In the morning, before the others were really awake, Elmer slipped quietly away, unnoticed. As he walked through the jungle, Elmer met other animals. They always said, "Good morning, Elmer." Each time Elmer smiled and said, "Good morning." After a long walk, Elmer found what he was looking for. A large bush. A large bush covered with berries. A large bush covered with elephant-coloured berries. Elmer caught hold of the bush and shook it so that the berries fall on the ground. Once the ground was covered in berries, Elmer lay down and rolled over and over, this way, that way, and back again. Then he picked up bunches of berries and rubbed himself all over, covering himself in berry juice until there wasn't any sign of any yellow or orange or red or pink or purple or blue or green or black or white. When he'd finished, Elmer looked like any other elephant. After that, Elmer set off back to the herd. On the way, he passed the other animals again. This time, each one said to him, "Oh, good morning, elephant." And each time Elmer smiled and said, "Good morning," pleased that he wasn't recognized. When Elmer rejoined the other elephants, they were all standing quietly. None of them did notice Elmer as he worked his way to the middle of the herd. After a while, Elmer felt that something was wrong. But what? He looked around. Same old jungle, same old bright sky, same old rain cloud that came over from time to time, and lastly, same old elephants. Elmer looked at them. The elephants were standing absolutely still. Elmer had never seen them so serious before. The more he looked at the serious, silent, still standing elephants, the more he wanted to laugh. Finally, he could bear it no longer. He lifted his trunk and at the top of his voice shouted, "Boo! Ooh! Whee! Ee!" The elephants jumped and fell always in surprise. "Oh my gosh and golly!" they cried. "Oh! Oh! Ouch! Oh! 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 Who did that?" And then saw Elmer, helpless with laughter. "Elmer," they said. "It must be Elmer." Then the other elephants laughed too, as they'd never laughed before. As they laughed, the rain cloud burst, and when the rain fell on Elmer, his patchwork started to show again. But the elephants still laughed as Elmer was washed back to normal. "Oh, Elmer," gasped an old elephant. "You've played some good jokes, but this has been the biggest laugh of all. It didn't take you long to show your true colors, eh?" "We must celebrate this day every year," said another. "This will be Elmer's Day. All elephants must decorate themselves, and Elmer will decorate himself elephant color." That is exactly what the elephants do. On one day a year, they decorate themselves and parade. On that day, if you happen to see an elephant, ordinary elephant color, you know it must be Elmer. That was perfect. We like that story. Thank you. That's all we have for today. You were great at hosting, sweetie. Here, Twilight. Now you'd better put the stage away. Mr. Benn thought he'd better leave, when, as if by magic, a man appeared. It was the shopkeeper. Fancy visiting this school of fiddlers. Step through this desk. Oh, Mr. Benn's gone. As he did so, he found he was back in the changing room of the shop. He took a last look in the mirror and changed into his clothes. That was an interesting visit. I haven't been to a school in Equestria for years, said Mr. Benn. Me too, said the shopkeeper. That story show you and them did was great. You can take this with you. Mr. Benn said goodbye and went home. Back in Festive Road, it was full of kids heading home. At his gate, Mr. Benn found what appeared to be Apple Bloom's schoolbook. No child would ever believe this was a fiddler's book, but I might keep it, so it can help me to remember. Well, taking a photo is all right. There's a name on it.